One of the greatest tools available to you as a player of the Pokemon Trading Card Game is proxy cards. So what are proxy cards? Proxy cards, or proxies, are placeholder printouts of real cards that are used primarily for testing purposes. So these are going to be cards you're going to be using to stand in for real cards. Now their purpose isn't to look real. Their purpose is to exist so that you can read the text, you can know what's on the card, and you can get familiar with the card without actually owning the card. Proxy cards, of course, are not going to be legal for play in any sanctioned tournament. You can't come to a League Cup or a League Challenge or a Regional Championship with proxies in your deck. That's not a thing you can do. But you can get familiar, you can learn the game a little bit better by using proxies. You can use these cards prior to making big purchases of cards that you might want to use later for a sanctioned tournament. One thing that's very important to note is when we're referring to proxy cards, we're not referring to something that you're paying money for, right? If you're paying money, if you're exchanging something of value, even if that's just another card or whatever, that is a counterfeit. Proxy cards are not something you're paying for. They're just something you're using as a stand-in. So again, not counterfeits, even though they are also fake cards in that sense. But their purpose is not to look real. Their purpose is to just stand in for a real card while you're testing. Today, we're going to look at two different ways for you to make proxy cards so that you can get to testing a little bit faster. The first way, of course, is going to be a very popular way to do so. That is going to be through Limitless and its proxy tool. So you can go straight to Limitless. You can type in on the proxy tool, you can type in a card's name, you can click on it in a drop down, you can add it, remove it, etc. So right now we're going to go ahead and go to Limitless and we're going to show you how to do this. All right, so right now we are on the home page of Limitless. So if we go to Tools and click Proxy Printer, it takes us here to the proxy printing tool. So if we want to add a card to our deck, let's say for example, we need to test our deck with an extra copy of Pidgeot EX. We can start searching for Pidgeot, and we'll see here Pidgeot EX does show up. We'll say we want this particular copy of it. There we go. Maybe we need more than one. We can add another and another. This gives us an option to add several cards all at once. And if, let's say, maybe we don't have a Pidgey either, we need a copy of the Pidgey from 151, we can also do that. And so by doing this, we're able to give ourselves access to a handful of cards that we wouldn't have otherwise, and we can just print this off using the print option here and send that to our printer, and then we can cut these up. So again, this is a great way to get cards ready for decks where the cards already exist, right? These are cards that are already out in English. Super easy way to do proxies. And if we want to remove a card from this list, of course, we can just click on it. Now, there is another way here. You'll notice this is the card search option. There's also the list input option. So a lot of times when you're on a website, you'll see a deck list presented in a very specific format. Pokemon deck lists are usually fairly specific on how they're presented. You can grab that text deck list and paste it there. So for example, here on my own website on justinbasil.com, if we wanted to take this Lugia V-Star list and put it in there, we could take this exact list here. We can go over to our print proxy cards option. We can paste that list into here and click add cards. And you'll notice it just adds that entire deck list to the proxies. So here we have the whole thing. Now what we can do, since obviously we don't need the whole thing here, is we can go through and click, maybe we don't need basic lightning energy. Maybe we already own our jet energy. And maybe even we already have our double turbo. And once we've determined that we have all the cards that we really need for this deck list, and we've removed the ones we don't need, we can go back up, and just like on the other tool, we can click print and it will set it up on sheets of paper for us. So we'll do 9 images to a page, and we can just print off our proxy images ready to go for this deck list and start testing. We've already seen this here, but this is the general idea. You're going to paste that PTCGL formatted deck list into that list editor. You're going to click add cards. You're going to remove any proxies you don't need, and then just print when you're ready to go. But there happen to be situations where you're going to want to be able to print proxies for cards that aren't on Limitless yet, or cards that aren't available in English, cards that are only so far revealed in Japan. So a lot of times you'll notice on websites, they'll have English language proxies that you can use for cards that are currently unreleased. My own website is an example of this. So if you go on the what's next category from the main homepage, you'll always see the set, and you'll see a few different articles that you can click on. And one of those articles is selected proxies. So you'll see there that selected proxies box. You click on that and it will take you to a page that has a bunch of images for cards that are in that set that may be meta relevant in some way. So they're going to be not necessarily every card that has been revealed in Japan, but a good chunk of the more important ones, right? Typically all of the important ones will be there. All trainer cards and basically all ultra rares will be there. And then a bunch of other cards that seem potentially useful, right? So you can go to there and grab your images that way. So let's go ahead and jump over to my site. All right, so we're on my site right now. So you'll see here under what's next, we're going to go to a set that has not yet released in English. In fact, we're going to look at a set that hasn't even been officially revealed, in the sense that we do not have its logo. We only know of its name because of pre-release scheduling. And that's going to be Stellar Crown. So as of the recording of this video, Stellar Crown is not out in English, hasn't even been officially revealed in English. So we're going to look at some selected proxies for that set. You'll see these are some of the ones that have been revealed so far for Stellar Crown. There's a whole bunch of different cards we can pick from here. Let's say, for example, that we are interested in building a Terapagos deck. Now, because this card isn't available in English on Limitless, there's no way for us to add those on Limitless to help us use the proxies. So what we can do is we can use what I call the PowerPoint method. Now, on all of these articles here, this one included, you'll notice there's a link right here. It says use the PowerPoint method described in the article on proxies to print these proxies. So if you click here, it'll take you to this article here, and you can scroll right down and it'll say you can download a ready-to-use PowerPoint file here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click that and download it and then open it. And once you open it, it's going to look something like this. So you'll have a blank screen that just has 9 boxes that you're supposed to click on and paste into, right? So you have 9 little slots here. So if I want to add an image for a card that doesn't exist yet in English, I can go to that website, my own website here. We can jump into these proxies. So we have, let's say, for example, we wanted that Terapagos. We can click on it, copy that image, and then just paste it by using that command on the keyboard. So here for PCs, we put Control V. If you're on a Mac, it would be Command V. You're going to click on the box and you're just going to paste right into it. You'll notice that it resizes the image automatically for you. A little magic trick, basically, right? You're getting that immediately. You don't have to do anything. You're not resizing it yourself. You're not setting image sizes. It just click, paste, and it resizes. If we need another card, like say, for example, we need area 0 underdepths, we can do the same thing, copy it, paste where we need it. And if we don't need a card, we can simply click on it and click delete button on the keyboard. Not backspace, but delete, right? So let's say we don't need the underdepths after all, we can delete those options. And now they won't be part of the document. Now, let's say, for example, that there isn't enough space here. Maybe we need more than 9 proxies, right? So we filled it all in. We've completely filled it, right? We've got area 0 underdepths. We've got our glass trumpet. We need more glass trumpets. We need a full play set of glass trumpets for our deck, but there's no more room. Now, the easiest way to do this is, because this is using the slide master feature in PowerPoint, is if we go up here to where it says new slide, you'll see the new slide option here. You click that and you'll notice that there is a slide option called proxies. If you click on that, it will automatically create a new slide with the correct template for you. So now you have a new slide to put proxies in, and if we need those 3 glass trumpets, we can now add those. Now, something that is also worth noting is if you do not own PowerPoint, say you don't subscribe to Office 365 for whatever reason, you can still make use of this feature. You can still download that file and then upload it to a free Outlook account. So here, this is an Outlook account I own. You go over here. Every Outlook account has access to Office Online for free. So you can open up the file via PowerPoint Online, and you'll be presented with something just like this, right? So if you need to add cards in from online to PowerPoint's feature here that we're using, the Slide Master, you just click it, just like on the desktop version of the application, and it will automatically resize and prepare these images for you just like on the desktop. And just like on the desktop, when you're ready to print, you just click File, Print, Full Page Slides, and then print from here. So the PowerPoint method is, to me, the ideal method for printing proxies when cards are not yet released. Again, you're going to be able to click New Slide if you need additional slots, and just like on Limitless, you'll print when you're ready. And you can use this method also for other card games. So if you're playing Lorcana or One Piece and they're card games that use the standard size card, this will work just perfectly for them too. If you're playing a card game that uses a different size card like Yu-Gi-Oh, then this particular method isn't going to work quite well for you. But again, to use those proxy cards, once you've printed those pages out, you're just going to cut each one out. The cards are literally right next to each other, so you can have the greatest amount of result for the fewest amount of cuts. The fewest number of cuts rather. So you can just cut real quick. Again, proxy cards aren't meant to be forever. You're just supposed to cut them, use them however you need. Once you have them out, the best way to make use of them is to slide them into a deck sleeve with a basic energy card. So you'll put the basic energy card and then put the cutout proxy in front. This gives the card a very similar weight to a real card. It's not going to be quite precise. Some players might be able to notice the difference. It is a little difficult, but really seasoned players may be able to tell. And then you just, like I said, you throw it right in front of it and you're ready to use it. And then you shuffle it up with the rest of the decks with all the cards you do own and start testing. And that is it. That is how to make use of proxy cards in the Pokemon Trading Card Game. It's very simple, but it's also a very useful thing to know how to do. And now you know how to do it. Thank you all for watching. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments. I hope to be able to add more to this Pokemon TCG for Newbies series in the future. Again, thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video.